Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode on the YouTube channel. In today's video, it'll be the last game of our second season in the Premier League, as we look to see if we finish 9th, 10th or 11th. That is correct, we've gone on a little bit of a run yet again in this 4-2-3-1, and we look like we're going to maybe record a 9th place finish, which is what I was targeting at the start of when the form turned around. We are, of course, here a few days early, and there's a reason as to that on the computer screen, but as of right now, I want you guys to give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let's get straight into the form since we last met, and the reason why we're here earlier. And the reason is the race course and an expansion has now been completed, and we now have 8,000 seats. What they've done is filled in all the corners, I do believe, and we're going to see a very fulfilling stadium next season. We do have great demand for tickets, so I do expect to sell out the stadium every week, and that is a massive plus for us. Plus, the race course is much better than playing at the Swansea.com.au stadium or .com stadium. But yeah, look, I'm very happy with that. Now, this takes immediate effect. However, unfortunately, on the final day, we play away from home, so we do not, unfortunately, get to see the new racecourse stadium. As things stand, though, we currently do sit in ninth on goal difference between us and Everton. So as long as Everton do not win on the final day and we don't get slapped by, 12 goals by City, which I highly doubt will happen, we will, of course, finish ahead of Everton in either 10th or 9th. Bournemouth is the other team that is hot on our heels, and Bournemouth is a team that if they win would go level on points, whilst if we lose and already have a good enough goal difference that they would overturn that as well. So finishing anywhere between 9th and 11th. We did say when we went through our decent run of fixtures and went through January and beat Arsenal, City, you name it, that we can finish 9th. And that's the target. We've done very well. Since February and in this run, which we knew this was the easier fixes, we mentioned at the start of the year, this could keep us up this run. We have beaten everyone around us. So Brentford we beat, we drew to Leicester, we beat Brighton. We won away from home against Burnley, which you guys saw in a YouTube episode. That's, of course, when George Davis came out. We beat Norwich, drew to Swansea, beat Fulham, drew to Everton, and beat Arsenal. As you can see, the away games we're not winning, but we're getting some points in, and the home games we are just very, very good in. We also beat Arsenal yet again. Arsenal have had a pretty poor year. They're down in 7th, and Mehmet Ali is now in charge there as well after they sacked Arteta. And we did win our last game at 1-0 here in a game that, if you have a look at the stats, Arsenal aren't maybe as good as they have been in the save, but this will just show what I want to bring up, is that at home we are a different beast. Away from the Premier League, we look like a team that is fighting relegation. At home, we look like a team that could be fighting for Europe. We are a fantastic footballing side when we are at home, and that's something to build upon for next season. I do want to speak about as well the under-21s and the under-18s quickly. It's you guys know it's something that I've always keep in the forefront of my mind, is how the under-18s going. Those wondering how George Davis is going. Just regression to the mean. It's fine. They're already telling me that he should be a squad player at 16 years of age. He just turned 16. Yes, I would agree with that. Let's go into the 18s, go into matches, go into the under-18, under-18 North Division 1. In the final, you can see Man City's won, but in all groups there, for our first season in the top 5 of the under-18s competition, we finished 2nd, and that's only going to get better because we did have a few kids that have that 4-star potential that are going to be really, really, really good. Now, unfortunately, I don't know how well we're going to be able to strengthen this, but I am thinking that we haven't had our budget yet, and if we get a good budget, I'm thinking of going one or two ways in the transfer window, and that is scouting really young English/Welsh talent that is 18 years or less, and trying to bring them all in to bolster the 18 squad, so we have a lot of good youth and good potential moving forward, and a lot of good players that are moving to the 21s, as well as trying to get a little bit more going. Now, in our 21 squad, as you can see here, this is where all the big boys play. Sanchez, Cunnington, Oliveira, Ceravolo, all these boys are playing week in, week out. And with that being said, we have got a big old game for them. They made the semi-final and have the under-21 cup final coming up in a couple of days' time. So that's the FA Cup under-21 final against Newcastle. And more importantly, they are going to look for back-to-back competition wins in the Division 3 playoff final. Now, I do not know why they do not go and get put up into the top flight. We did win it last year if we go to all groups. Last season, we actually finished second on the final day before winning the competition. And this year, we have finished top on goal difference in our group. And now look like we're going to win the competition, maybe again against Birmingham. I don't understand why they're not going up, but hopefully after winning this one, they do. And that's kind of the thing, is I'm feeling like if we can get a good 18s through and then get a few of them into the 21s, we're going to just be looking good. And, this builds success. If you have a very good core of players playing in the younger and the youth teams, if they develop, they can feed into your first team, and it's a very good spot to be in. So we might be filtering through a lot of the under 21 and under 18 data and trying to get people in at the football club. Now, I'm going to talk about the team that we're going to select here on the last game of the season, not deadline day. But I'm going to let the under 21s go play. I will say that on this final game against Manchester City, I will be picking a team that doesn't have any of our strong under 21s featured, because I think it is important for them to go win that competition back to back. So I'll see you guys in a second. Let's go find out where we finish. The under 18s and 21s look good, and more importantly, the race course will be back there next season, and we look like we have a stadium that is ready for Premier League glory. Last game, Man City. Let's get into it. But before we do, as you can see, the boys and the under 21s have won the FA Cup, the under 20 FA Cup. We were leading 1-0 in the third minute with Dewey Hughes, who looks very well-rounded but never going to be anything, before Sanasu scored in the 89th minute, before Saravoto scored in the 90th. And what we're going to do is we are going to give you the goals of the under-21 FA Cup. That means that our 18s won the league last year and held their own in the top flight this year, and our under-21s have a chance today to win back-to-back league titles, but also have the... Nick Pope played against us, and that's dirty, Newcastle. We also had have the opportunity to win the under-21 competition for a second time in a row, but we've now won the FA Cup, which is superb as well. As you can see, Sanasu at the back stick there, very well-worked move, but let's get into the goal that won it. It's a ball over the top to Josh Herman, who's been carving it up in the youth competition. Saravoto, one touch, past Nick Pope, and that is a goal that we scored to win the under-21 competition. Now, in terms of today's game, we're going to get into it straight away here. Let's go and see who's playing who. Bournemouth play Brentford in a game that Brentford are safe, so that means nothing. So you expect Bournemouth probably to win that game or get a point. A point's not enough for them. Everton play Liverpool. That's a good thing for us. Liverpool are safe and sound in third. They're not going to fall out of the European competition spot or Champions League. But that's good for us. That as long as Liverpool don't beat Everton on the final day, we're going to at least finish 10th, and that is a superb place to be. On top of that as well, I have picked a bit of a different team. As you can see, all these under-21 guys have been left on the bench. But more importantly, this is the last time that you will see Elliot Lee's contract is lapsing, and I am going to release him. Just, obviously it gets to a point where you got to say to these good players and the players that you love so much that, go have an end of a career, go help a team out the lower levels. And the same thing with Paul Mullen. Mullen's going to go at the end of this as well. We love Paul. We love Elliot Lee. They've been here. They've done it all. Mullen has scored a goal in every single season, but only one goal this season kind of shows the deterioration of his career so far. So hopefully they will both find a nice place to play in and around the English lower levels. Elliot Lee could still do a job. So your team for the final game of the season is going to be Arthur, who's finally been called up by England. He's actually slightly declined here just a little bit, but it's nice to see that he's picked up a little bit around, an English cap. He's still very well rounded. I have no intention of selling him next year. He will eventually be the last piece of the jigsaw to get us into that next part of the save where you're looking to, probably... fight for titles and top four, etc. He's 10 games away from 200 for us as well. He's played 190 games in the career stats screen, which is in front of my face here. If I just remove my webcam for a second. Yeah, where my webcam was, 190, 238 goals conceded. It's not a bad return. He's one guy that if a big came in for him, yes, but he deserves to play for England and has been called up to the Euro squad, which is good. Other people that I'll mention is obviously Robinson's been developing, is already up to 3.5 star, and I just don't see a world where this kid does not become absolutely immense moving forward. So the wonder kid at 19 years of age is fantastic. Arriga's Arriga, Waylon Reneke. There is definitely a call to say that we need to start looking at playing Jared Cunnington moving forward, and something I'm going to discuss in my stream. I'm not currently live right now. It is, 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I still haven't had my full proper coffee. I went out last night to watch the soccer and watch Liverpool, so I didn't get to finish the season last night. Got within one game, so I'm just trying to finish this off and then get to my stream where we go scouting. But Jared Cunnington is so well rounded, 5'10". I just think he's ready for Premier League football now. If he's going to hit his potential, he needs to come back and play for us and get all this 14s into the 15s and get him really looking good. With that as well, if you look back at the team too, Destiny Doggy's fine. Koulibaly's been developing this well, yes. He's finally been capped by the Ivory Coast, worth over 100 million. I think this guy might be one of the best central defensive midfielders I might ever use on FM. He has that sort of potential to be that good, and I really love him too. Mariba's Mariba. He's a good player, and I like Mariba a lot. But we do have some very good options in there now. Arthur's not playing in the under-21s today because he's been nailed in there. Elliot Lee's Elliot Lee. Pavlovic is Pavlovic. Fantastic player. Mullen's going to play up top. Means Kristovic is going to end the season with a bench start. But to be fair, if you look at everything he's done for teams in and around him at Lecce, this is another standard season for him, and that's all I wanted was someone better than Mullen in link-up play and better in terms of he'll find us some goals and chip in when needed. And I'm going to take 12 goals and 2 assists in the Premier League. That's 14 returns. Mix it in with everybody else. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not the advanced forward that's going to score you 30 goals in a season. Maybe Josh Herman might actually grow into that, but that's the thing to look at as well. Outside of that too, George Davis is going to be made available for the under-21s today for 90 minutes as well. And I'm going to, in that case then, just remove him here too. I'm not going to go with a big bench. I want all these guys to play under-21 football. But yeah, that's our team there. Let's get into it. Let's see how we can go. Let's see if Mullen and Lee have one last laugh in their Wrexham career and we can beat City away from home. I'm not expecting much. I'm expecting to get pumped here, boys. I'm not going to lie. We're going to go to an advanced forward and we're going to leave it as an attacking midfielder on support. I think Elliot Lee can play that role. Look, Pep Guardiola's record against me is good because it's Pep. They're lining up with Foden, Rodrigo, and Haaland, with Silva and Rodri in the base. Guardiola and Diaz is there, Rico Lewis, who grows well on FM, and Edison. So that's a pretty standard Manchester City side that everyone has lost to Man United. Considering United just lost to Bournemouth 3-0, they can't be further away. I think in real life, Man United are closer to a relegation than they are to winning the Premier League title. So yeah, it is what it is. Now, look, our away form's not been great, and I am going to recap that at the end of this game as well, that our away form is something we need to think about next year. But I'm very, very, very interested to see how we go here against a very strong City side with a team that's not 100% full strength, but a team with heroes in it. Robertson, who's been fantastic since coming in, bombing on down this right-hand flank, has got Arthur in the hole. Arthur finds Elliot Lee. One last laugh. It was nearly there. Mullen now heads home. It's going to be a goal. Is he onside? Please let him be onside. Can Mullen score in his last game for Wrexham? Yes, he will. It counts. Mullen gets his fairy tale finish. Elliot Lee nearly did, but it's going to count as an assist. It was a fantastic save from Edison to put it onto the bar, to be fair. And Mullen, with the captain's armband, in his last ever game for Wrexham, heads home, and it is 1-0. That is brilliant. We actually lead against Manchester City, and that means Everton are losing too. So no matter what happens, we're finishing 10th at the lowest, but as it stands right now, we are going to be 9th, and that is a fantastic achievement with how we started this season. We had 1 point from 6 games. Oscar on a run towards Oscar Guardiola, who is fantastic on Football Manager and highly recommend. Bernardo going on a run. Still going on a run. Hits Bernardo, of course it is. Elliot Lee tried to win it. Pavlovic does win it. Oh my God, Mullen on the break? Nah, it's a poor ball. It should have been Mullen over the top, to be fair. Phil Foden now, he's in, he'll shoot, and in the end, that is going to go wide. It's not a good finish from Foden, and I'm very, very, very happy with how these things have gone here. And the thing is, this 4-2-3-1 on discipline is naturally a pretty decent system because defensively, because the boys are in discipline. With this tactic, because they're on discipline, they will stay in their own zone. So your doggy will bomb on, yes, and Robertson will bomb on, but they'll stay in there. They won't come inside or anything. The wingers will stay wide until they get the ball. As you can see here, your doggy just doing things. And that's all I need them to do. And it just means defensively, they're already in the right areas. Unfortunately, it's not a good ball out from Koulibaly. Should have went to Robertson instead. He tried to put Arthur under some pressure. But Arrigo will win that back, and Arthur Okenwo, our keeper, will play out. Waylon Reneke, Arthur, in the end, tries to drop one into Pavlovic, but under hit. Oscar now. Foden, this is a goal. Yup. Could see that coming from a mile away. Maybe the keeper should do better. It's a pretty good ball from Oscar. It's not the Oscar you're thinking of. I think that's a regen Oscar. But in the end, that's going to be 1-1. And look, you don't expect anything less against Manchester City. The fact we led and we beat Arsenal home and away this year, and we beat Manchester City at home in a game that we absolutely got we FM'd them in massively. Is we can't do much. No, Oscar, as the Israeli international, he looks very good this year on FM. 93 million from Leipzig. Oh, that's worth more than my whole club, even if I sold most players. Or maybe not if I sold most players, but yeah. Brentford are beating Bournemouth, so no matter what happens in this game, as it stands, we're going to finish ninth no matter what. That's beautiful. But yeah, time ticking away here. 70 minutes played, and we still are getting a point against Manchester City. The match momentum's telling you, that we're getting dominated. Ashby's going to come in on one side. I think that's going to be something that we'll definitely do. We don't actually have a left back to bring on for your doggy, so your doggy's just going to have to deal. Connor Coventry is going to come in. I am looking to sell Connor Coventry next year, to be fair. So that's the second change. Pavlovic is going to come off here, and we're going to give Orsic another run late doors. And Arthur, before he gets an injury, is going to come off here for Dewberry, and we're going to do that as well. And I'm going to leave Mullen out there for now. I will probably look to bring off someone late doors to try and win the game. But yeah, I don't want to take Mullen off in his final game is kind of my mentality. I just want to see Mullen play. Everton have scored to level it up against Liverpool, but Dewberry's now got options inside Elliot Lee. Oh, if he gets a touch away, Elliot Lee, we're in there with Orsic. Jeremy Pino now, picked off by Ashby. Arriga does enough, but it's going to be straight back to Mika Marmol. And in the end, I think Arriga's going to do a little bit better in possession there. City squeezing us out of this game like no tomorrow. Bernardo, ball out to Rodrigo. Your doggy wins. Waylon Reneke, Mariba, good touch inside of Dewberry. Good ball there towards Mullen. Need runners. Orsic, Elliot Lee. Should have been played maybe. Ashby now. Good ball. Looks for Dewberry. Won't find him there. It's a highlight where you can see we know what we're trying to do, but no one's got the quality to play someone's feet. Rodrigo's offside. Mullen's on the floor injured. What a save from Arthur, even though it is not going to count even if it went in. And well, Mullen is injured on his final game, so it will be Kristovic for the late doors. We'll just leave an advance forward for now. But yeah, that Paul Mullen, clap him off. What a warrior. His last ever game, he scored a goal and maybe has earned us a point against Manchester City on the final day. Mr. Mullen, Paul Mullen, final ever game for Wrexham, and he's got us a point against Manchester City. We salute you, Mr. Paul Mullen. We salute you. He is your man of the match for the last time that he steps on the football park for Wrexham as well. He is going to make a team in the lower levels a very, very, very happy side. And, well, that was a special way to end the season. We did not lose to Manchester City, both home and away this year. We beat them at home and drew them away. That is a run and a half to end the season without losing. That is superb. And lucky last thing that I'm going to say about this is means Everton scored late and won. Everton scored late and beat Liverpool at Goodison. Of course they did. Everton scored in the 85th minute. They were 1-0 down. Ouch, that hurts. Well, we finished 10th. We even got a point, which I thought was going to be enough to finish ahead of Everton. But, yeah, there you go. Everton beat Liverpool, and we finished 10th, mid-table. Oh, I love it. I think that's a fantastic performance from us as well. I think the last thing for me to do is to actually see how much money we're going to get, because I haven't had my budgets yet. Decent League One player is Mullen as well. I'm going to send the assistant. Normally would do that, but sure. Hopefully we get our budgets on the squad plan today, which generally happens. I would love to show you guys what my budget is for next season, because it hasn't been passed on to me. We've got 44 mil in the overall club at the moment, and that's obviously without any TV revenue for next year coming through, etc. Wow, Jared Cunnington might be involved in a promotion as Sunderland make the playoff final. Wrexham are the under-21 champions. That is brilliant. Saravolo plays well, and they beat Birmingham 3-1, so we go back-to-back in the under-21s, which means my under-21s did the double, the FA Cup and League double. Hopefully the game now just automatically promotes them. And lucky last, our budget is $93 million. That is correct. We've got 93 mil to spend in terms of with our available payroll. That is not too much money available to us, because I'm going to imagine there's going to be some people that are going to want some chunk of wage improved. That is the end of the season. That is a special way to end season 2. Goodbye to Elliot Lee. Goodbye to Paul Mullen. What a season. I'll see you guys for the first game of season 3 in the Prem, season 6 in general. And next year, can we build a side that can maybe challenge the finish 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th? Be good progression if we could. Look, let's go find out. See you guys next time. Thank you and goodbye.